Namaste and welcome. So much love. So much love. The thing about when they're spirit guided songs, maybe some other songs too, but when Lori's song, then you just start singing them in your head. You know, you're in it. You're in the song. We're the song of God. Oh my gosh. Holy miracles. Thank you for joining us. You see the power of this, of coming together to speak Jesus. And I love this. I love this. I have to read this again from last night. What a reminder from Jesus. This whole purpose of a new covenant right here, what I'm going to read, to remind us of this. This is our function, to speak that voice. A major hindrance in this aspect of his learning is the teacher of God's fear about the validity of what he hears. This is why we're coming together, to really hear it together. Do you see? And that's how we support each other in the validity of what we're hearing. I get so excited. You know, it's hilarious because in the play of consciousness, oh, what text? Yes, Dyra. I'm just reading from the Manual for Teachers 21, the role of words in healing, the very last paragraph, paragraph 5. So I'm just telling Dyra to help her with translation, but everyone else, we can just kind of, you know, we put our seatbelts on, rock it. Because these are the words we want to completely just burst into our hearts open. When we hear what he is saying about speaking the voice for God and hearing it. And what he hears may indeed be quite startling. Wasn't that adorable? Like when you say Anne-Marie, and if you see that, oh my God, it's such a precious video. And she's going, we're starting to say, okay, I don't think I can hear God. And then she goes, there it is. It's there. And then she goes, that's been speaking to me all the time. That's what we're talking about here, coming together so we can go, right, that voice has been there all the time. Okay. Woohoo. Okay, so, and what he hears may indeed be quite startling. It may also seem to be quite irrelevant to the presented problem as he perceives it. The Dyra might have frozen. Are you still okay, Dyra, over there? She might be frozen. No, there she goes. Moving. Okay, so it's in the teacher's manual, section 21. What is the role of words in healing? Paragraph 5, the last paragraph on the last page of that section. It may seem, this is sentence 3, again, everyone can just relax back. It may also seem to be quite irrelevant to the present problem as he perceives it. He is going to rock our world with that. Right there, that is rock your world. Because this morning we were talking about the consciousness confetti, and then, you can feel that twitch. But what happens is we get lost in the twitchification. We get lost in all the confetti, see? But he's saying these light circles that were coming in, the joining in light is to listen to him. Listen to him and let him tell you what's the kerfuffle. We don't wander around in the confetti going, I think it's this confetti piece. I think, no, we don't have to do that. When we listen, he's going to bring us, this is the piece to look at right now. That's why he says, you ask me what's most helpful for healing the mind. He is literal on that. He will tell us in these light circles, these joining in light sessions. So we listen, and he tells us, like, let's just say some kerfuffle being the word for some play in consciousness. It causes a twitch, anger, frustration, fear. We don't label what is doing that. See, that I'm mad at my brother and that bastard, you know, that whole thing. He's saying, let me save you some time. Join with me in an instant of light. So we've come together. This is light. We focus on the light of divine being. Step one. We're powerful, infinite beings. So we're focusing on that. And we're going to ask Jesus, what is the desire? What's below that? So this saves so much time. We don't have to go. And I think it's because my aunt's uncle was a gypsy or any of these kinds of. No, we go, I don't know anything. He knows everything. And he's going to tell me specifically what I need to look at. That's why it's startling. Also, when he tells us to speak things, like that time I'm asking him, yes, can I talk about this? So that time I was in Jerusalem and I was about 100 yards or so, right down from the tomb garden on the little road. There's that little road that the tomb garden's on. It runs right down to meet, I think it's the road to Damascus, actually. It's right outside the Damascus gate. It's in the Muslim quarter. So many miracles on that little stretcher. I don't know how there could be that many packed in there, but obviously it was for me. He was giving me a direct message. I had to have it right here. Go to Jerusalem. Go to the garden. You know, it's got to be that direct. So anyway, I'm right outside and I started walking and was kind of looking at all they had little tables with little books and things being sold. And that Muslim man came up to me, and a Muslim man, and he said, "You're American. What do you know about, what do you think about the plans to redivide Jerusalem?" Which I knew nothing about. And I can see this is the voice answered, like from within. And it, was a surprise to me, and just this came out. It just came out. This is natural to us, though. And what came out was, how can love be divided? Now, where did that come from? That's coming from so we just let it come. These circles are to clear up the doubt thoughts that we can hear with the penetrating power that Helen had, to hear him so clearly on every sentence. Now, this is not pressure and comparative to your brother. This is to see what's natural. The voice for God is our natural voice. So that's what we're looking at today. This is so gorgeous. It's just like, put you on your knees when you read this. And the irrelevant, how it's irrelevant to the presented problem. Because remember, when we're in the problem, we're so far from the solution. We need him to tell us, take us down and show us in the catacombs what we're holding on to in personal identity. And so a lot of times, and we talk about it here. And for me, working with them, it's like, you'll see you're like miles away. We're swimming 1,000 miles from shore, and he's going, no, you don't need to be over. Come over here. Come over here. I'll show you. And may, in fact, confront the teacher with a situation that appears very embarrassing to him. And believe me, there would have been a time, and I can say that I would have been very embarrassed to say the word LOVE. how can love be divided? But by that time, you know, after a while, you just start delivering it because it's you, it's your true voice. So we come here to practice our true voice and to hear and to honor each other in the power that we have to hear. All these are judgments that have no value. So judge not. They are his own, coming from a shabby self-perception which he could leave behind. Judge not the words that come to you. Oh, Lord Jesus, let this be true. Let love speak through us today as it's meant to do in what's most natural to all of us, but offer them in confidence. And do you know, like, you think, oh, you're going to leave your family behind. So here's this word confidence. It's like come up 3 or 4 times today. So here comes a quote from my mother today. In quietness and confidence shall be your strength. Isaiah 30:15. Okay, Jesus, I'm getting the message about confidence to speak this, what you're hearing. That's all we're practicing. That's it. We're developing the confidence that we can hear. And by videoing yourself, by joining, by doing chapter 20 together, that's all we're doing. We're just gaining the confidence. They are far wiser than your own. You see that for sure. God's teachers have God's word behind their symbols. And he himself gives to these words, they use the power of his spirit. So when we're listening and speaking, I feel like it's not about pressure. It's about listening and speaking with confidence. Even if you're not sure, say them anyway. Because we've seen it, the number of beings that come into the circles and go, I don't think I can hear Jesus. And then it's like our hair gets blown back because the spirit just comes flying right through them. And that's it's just so beautiful. Say something so profound. And he himself gives to the words they use the power of his spirit, raising them from meaningless symbols to the call of heaven itself. That's what we're here to celebrate. The words that he gives us. The call of heaven itself. Now that's the kind of gathering that has some value in this world. So with that, we're going to invite beings, and he may tell you to talk about a little kerfuffle or something. It's always given by him. So we just go to light because we can. We're light first, light of divine being. And we ask Jesus to please prompt us what is most helpful for us to say. What are we hearing? Does anyone hear anything? And you can share anything he tells you or ask a question, or we're here for each other. We're here to be carried by God right up in that rocket ship. Okay, comes Renee. And it is stepping into it for sure. Even when you're not sure, just step in. We're here for you. We're 100% behind you. What did you need? The camera. Okay. There you go.
Hello,
A
everyone.
voice in the dark.
Yeah, I was just hearing, this is it. And I just wanted to express gratitude for this opportunity to speak from the heart and just share this holy instant with you. I've had a judgment of how much I speak, like quantity wise, or judge myself when I don't speak, when I choose to hold back from a miracle. So I'm just here to ask for a miracle for that, to see that differently.
So what does Jesus say about it when you talk to him?
There's no measurement in this, and no comparison. So it's just to become still and just allow the words to come through without effort. So yeah. Yeah, I've just seen how I kind of have the anticipation sometimes before a session where I start to think about what it's going to be like. And then, but yeah, I just see now it's just right here, right now. It's not nothing happening in that. Yeah, it's just the thought of that.
So it seems like for a time in the play of consciousness, maybe there was some uncertainty about speaking and speaking the voice. How did Jesus help you through that?
Just being here, being with you and those here at the center, doing these joining sessions. Yeah, just the assignments that he's giving me to really look directly at where I want to withhold miracles. Yeah, where I want to hold back. Yeah. But like you were saying about going to Jerusalem, it had to be right here. And I feel that's where it is right now. It's just there's and also actually another thing I had heard just say was just there's nothing more important than this. Yeah, again, this is it. There's just nothing more important than joining. So thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's so helpful reminder, because you can start getting really drunk with love just watching and hearing your brother speak God. It's just like it's your brother just taking you right straight up. That's beautiful, Renee. Thank you. Like pure heart there. Anyone else have anything to share or questions about talking to Jesus? Because it's so helpful just to talk about like why we don't think we can hear, or ask him about it and let him just tell us. Or what you're hearing from him, how he's helping you. Okay, Mary, we'd love to hear from you. Thank you. camera on you. You're an hater.
Hi, loved ones. So many loved ones I'm looking at here on the screen. One of the things that happens here at the center is that we give 5-minute presentations, and standing up before a group, even as loving a group as this in the past, has been challenging. And so approaching this from not knowing and not depending on my past, because I'm a researcher, blah, blah, blah. And so my mind, wants to take over about organizing things. So I've given 3 presentations, and every time I've just gotten quiet and asked Jesus, what is it that you want to come through for the highest good? And the answer every time has been very clear. The first time in the middle of the night, I happened to wake up, and it was to talk about laughter. And I got 2 short video clips that were so clear in my head that Jesus gave me. And one was with Lucille Ball and her friend, Ethel, thank you. And they were on the candy, you remember the candy line, and trying to get this done as quickly as possible. And the other one was Carol Burnett and the Gone with Swept Away with the Wind, or whatever it was. And just, that was it. Jesus was just very clear. This is it. And then out of that came this whole presentation. So so it's just been interesting to step back from not knowing what something's going to look like and ask and just listen. And sometimes, it just comes in the strangest ways that I would not have expected at all. And then one other, just such a powerful way of asking and listening is through the chapter 20 joinings. And my partner and I, who happens to be here also, I have been doing this since January. And we have been joining for about 45 minutes or an hour a day. And the power of seeing Jesus speak through my partner and reflect back what it is that I'm needing to hear. And I can't think of any specifics right now, but just that willingness to ask and listen and join with another has been one of the most powerful ways that Jesus has spoken that I've heard. And then real quickly, one other situation. I'm here at the center. I've been here a month, and I've had almost no contact with my grown children. And so a few days ago, I had a Zoom chat with them, and it was just, I just kept asking Jesus, how do I be with my children in such a way that doesn't perpetuate the mom image and the I need to take care of you, or I can save you, all of that kind. And they are all going through, the coronavirus stuff. And so I told them, I really don't want to hear about any of that. I want to hear about who they're being in life and how they're processing. And so it was all guided. And so it just the willingness to step into not knowing and listen and know that what's coming through can be trusted, and that confidence is growing. And it's so much more relaxing and safer and more comforting than trying to figure everything out, which the ego, my character Mary, loves to figure everything out. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Can you talk about one thing too, if you would, because this feels very much in holy purpose, because Jesus talks about joining. He's so clear about joining over and over. He says it in A Course in Miracles, and now he's really helping us, at least for me, showing me, okay, this is how to join. You're not comparing stories. You're really looking at what's true together, right? 2 or more gathered in his name to see what is true. And so we've been doing these chapter 20 partnerings, and also beings are joining through the Facebook Messenger group. And sometimes it doesn't exactly go the way we think it's going to see the out picturing. But maybe you can talk about that, because it's almost like we have to get past the concept of joining before we let ourselves really listen and speak. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think the most powerful part of that for me has been immediately at the beginning to join with someone to call in the light. And when I'm by myself, sometimes it just doesn't seem to happen as quickly or as powerfully. But when I join with someone else, it's like, wow, it's like the heavens part or something. So somehow in the joining, when two or more are gathered, there's just something, my heart opens. It's like a fountain comes out of my heart. And there is that quietness and that stillness and that listening to the voice of Jesus and coming through the other, and listening myself, and it's not between two people. It's not, the conversation is not happening between two people. There's something far more expansive going on, far more spacious, that really doesn't have anything to do with the two people. It's just kind of, I mean, Kay talks about this a lot. Jesus talks about the being given, and it really is given. And if you follow the guidelines for the miracle worksheet, where it talks about seeing your brother as a holy one, as the representative of Christ, and you go into the session with that, then yeah, what happens is unexpected and goes so far beyond what I had thought it would look like. Yeah.
And at first, though, there's so many concepts about a partner and what that means. And I know that you and Irene had talked about that, when you're joining on 20. So I thought maybe you'd share some of that, because it's so beautiful how you are so determined.
Yeah, I must say, we've been at it a while. So there have been times when we were just like, fuck this stuff. I'm done. I want to take this person out. I am done. I don't like the reflection. This is not working. And so we got to a point like that. I don't know, must have been 6 weeks ago. And we were just so committed to hanging in there that we had 2 sessions where we didn't say a word. All we did was sit and look at each other on the Zoom screen for an hour. We just looked at each other. And we would shut our eyes occasionally, and then we would just look at each other, and it passed. When I say it passed, whatever was there that was coming up just kind of melted away, because, well, I don't know that there's any because, it just melted away. And behind that was just a greater confidence in each other, and in, if you will, the process, or in the joining. And now we're both here at the center and duking it out here. So yeah, there are times in because of the duration of our relationship, or our joining, that there have been tough times, and then there have just been absolutely off the chart beautiful times. And we would often say this is the highlight of our day, is our joining. So it just seems such a testimony to, it seems like we've talked about this, the back and forth sometimes journey we feel like we're on. We're like, yeah, sometimes I'm just like, oh my gosh, I feel so great. I mean, my heart is expanding. Like there's just spaciousness there. And then there's other times where you're like, I don't know what I'm doing and what is going on here. So yeah, it was a witness to that too. Yeah.
Thank you, Mary. It's beautiful. That's another, you just start flying. You can really start flying. Who has his hand up? Oh, Frank, beautiful, Frank. We'd love to hear from you. I'll just close out on Mary there, because it's really, you got to stay in there. No doubt about it. The ego is going to have a fit about these joinings. I'll just tell you up front. You can ask Jesus. See, the ego opposes joining, because again, whenever 2 or more gather in his name, there's love, and the ego's made to block that out of awareness. So you have to step past the kerfuffles, and we're reminding everyone, join. WhatsApp group, join. hit that, I need to join, pull out the worksheet and be true to the worksheet, and Jesus will guide you right through all of it. And then if you want a partner, jump into this chapter 20, really. Really, it's so fast. It's so direct. If you want that relationship with Jesus, and sometimes we're not sure we do, but you'll be glad you have it. So anyway, thank you, Frank. Oh. Oh, did you freeze? He might have froze. What? Yeah, we're on hardwire. Let's see. Yep. I'm just going to check our connection, but we're hardwired. Let's go back. Sometimes it bounces down. Frank, are you still there? Did you want to speak? Can't seem to communicate. He might not be able to hear us. Oh, I'll check my device settings. Very wonderful for audio. Oh, he might need to jump. Sometimes too, we have to jump out and come back in. It's occasionally we'll do that. So would anyone like to speak while Frank just checks his settings? Anyone hearing anything from Spirit? Okay, Ian. And then Frank will jump right back. Okay, thank you.
Can you hear me tonight? Can you hear?
Yes, it's
Oh.
dropping out a little bit.
Okay.
We'll turn out our volume. So if you have a headset out there that you can put on, that can be helpful sometimes. And also I'll mention while Ann gets ready, sometimes if you can sit close to your Wi-Fi, that can be helpful too. There are a lot of beings at home now, so sometimes there's a bit of so many beings on the internet that can slow down the connection.
Yeah. Can you hear me? No?
Yes, we can hear you now, Frank. Did you want to
Okay.
go ahead and we can come back to
No.
Ann? We'll come right back.
Go ahead, Anne. Go ahead.
Okay, Ann, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, there's times when I get the idea that I can't hear the voice for Jesus. And it happened just earlier, you know, like when we joined here. And what I was noticing was the comparison and then the shame coming up. And I wonder how to walk through that, you know, if there's any advice or anything.
Yeah, let's just ask Jesus about it and ask him what's most helpful.
what I can hear, and I don't know where this is coming from, but yeah, the shame is not about not hearing. It's about speaking in case I should be wrong. You know, the should on myself.
It feels like too, we can ask him, Jesus, is there a desire for an experience where I have a doubt thought that I can hear you, a desire for experience to doubt that I can hear you clearly? And can I ask for a miracle for that? Like that perception that I can't hear you clearly.
So what gets in the way immediately is a push away. I feel it. Like I want to have a little tantrum or something at that point. I can't hear.
So we can just be in the desire energy and just say, okay, I don't want, I can't hear is which, because can't is always I won't. In the play of consciousness, Jesus has been retranslating some of these sentences so Jesus, do I have a desire for experience where I won't hear you? And then we just ask for, can you help change that perception that not hearing you has some value? Not hearing you clearly has value. Do I have any belief that not hearing you has value to me?
Yes. I
And can
do
we ask,
think it has value.
and we can just ask for a miracle. Jesus, can you help us with a miracle? Am I ready for a miracle on that? A miracle on the perception that it has value not to hear you?
No, I'm not ready for a miracle. I seem to want the experience of being a victim here. Which makes me want to laugh.
Yeah, that's so beautiful to see that. That's so powerful to see it, because we can see where not listening and speaking is how littleness gets kept, that weakness, that play of victim. So it's powerful to see that in honesty of God, that admission.
Yeah, I'm just feeling very grateful because it just feels very different now. Yeah. Straight away, There's the ego voice. You're just going backwards and forwards. It's the same stuff. So I just want to move beyond that.
So what is Jesus saying?
I just don't hear any words. It's just like a gentle laughter. It's all okay. Yeah, I just hear that I'm still looking for this absolute certainty.
And what does he say about transcending that?
Mm. Yeah, it's about when I'm unfocused, then I need to join. And those weren't the words, but that's the translation.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. I could be wrong, but it feels like that's complete for now.
Mm-hmm. It feels complete. You know, he has to tell us when we're complete. I just ask him, is it complete? And he tells me yes or no. Miracles are simple. It's hanging on to identity that's the complex thing. So that willingness to speak and just ask him what's most helpful is beautiful. Anne, thank you.
Thank you.
And really, like Anne just did, look below with Jesus. What seems to be preventing, because he'll show us where the blocks are, including the blocks of hearing his voice clearly. This is helpful for us to look together at that. So thank you, Anne. So Frank, do you feel like you're in the flow to speak now?
I don't know. Probably,
Yeah.
maybe. No, I'm out of my comfort zone here, so I wasn't planning to speak anything, but I kept not hearing, but as repeating thought as why are you so afraid, my beloved? Why are you so afraid, my beloved? Why are you so afraid?
Aww.
So I just, okay, and my palms got sweaty and my heart started to rush. And yeah, so it's more, I can't hear a clear voice, but it's more thoughts, but they feel maybe they're from, well, I guess they're from Jesus, I don't know. Sometimes I don't have any thoughts about what to do or don't. But I just felt I had to, yes, join. And because this is hard for the intellect, for the ego, for the one I believe I am. And I'd love to hear Jesus as clear as you do, and as Helen Schuckman or David do. That's why I'm here. But right now it's more like thoughts. And then I kept hearing, and the thought came was, I'm with you, I'm with you, I'm with you. And okay, I guess that's you, Jesus. So, yeah.
Yeah, so this is beautiful, because this is why we're joining, so that just to look and ask him to show us what the uncertainty is below our level of awareness, that we can hear him.
Yeah, and when I was talking, you asked a question, I also felt I have the same issue as Anna, I suppose. Yes. I don't remember exactly the words, but when Aunt talked, I felt, yeah, that's me. She said what I also could say. So I reckon, yeah, felt like she was talking my words.
Well, so maybe we can just ask him, Jesus, as far as talking to you, are there any other doubt thoughts that you can show to us about hearing your voice clearly that we can look at?
The thought that came was unworthiness. Hatred, self-hatred, fear. Not worthy.
So what do we believe? We can ask him, Jesus, what do I believe if I have unworthiness like perfectly? You know, I've got unworthiness down pat, like absolutely perfectly, like the concept that I think of what unworthiness is. If I have that exactly right, what do I think that would get me? How would I feel if I had perfect unworthiness?
The thought that comes, I would be the ruler of the universe.
Mm-hmm. And so then if we're the ruler of the universe, which is, there's that play in there. We want to rule the universe, of course, in the play of consciousness. So it's helpful to see that. So let's just say we rule the universe perfectly. What does that get?
Hell.
What does it get?
Hell.
Hell?
Guess I want hell. No.
Well, but what do we, so we actually get hell, but what do we think it's going to get us? If we have
specialness.
And we're perfectly special. We couldn't get any more special. What does that get? If we're totally special, what do we believe we'll feel when we're perfectly special?
Safe.
Yes, we want to feel safe. So let's just say we have safety. It's like so perfect. It's exactly like we want safety. What does that get us if we're perfectly safe?
No, these are just thoughts coming.
Yep.
No, what was it? I lost it. But they were from the other side, I guess.
That's okay. Whatever arises is good. It's good for us to see. We're just starting to notice, because the consciousness will play like, okay, I want to be special. I want to be powerful. I want to be all this, but let's just say we are all this. We want it. If we were totally to have it so perfect, could you hear the word safety? I'm going to get, so there's a belief that there's safety in whatever the belief is. We believe that we're going to be more safe not talking to Jesus than talking to him.
I guess that's desire below my awareness.
Yeah, see how that, but this is perfect, because see, now it's rising into awareness, so we can actually see what Jesus means when he says, you think heaven is in hell. See, because we think we can get safety through the ego, or safety by not. So this is very helpful for everyone to see. Because if then we ask, okay, if I get perfect safety, this is the flip. This is where the flip is. So let's just say, okay, I don't listen to Jesus and I do it perfectly. And then so I avoid listening and I get safety. And then what do I get when I have perfect safety?
The other nothing comes
You get
from
what?
nothing. I realize it's two voices, so I don't know what Jesus came in, but if I get, the ego will give me nothing, I know that. But so I heard nothing. So it's not worth striving for.
So, okay, so two ways of hearing. So
I hear, you know, it's hard to explain, but I know it will give me nothing.
yes.
But pain.
Yes.
That's what
What we want to do, though, also, is we want to ask Jesus what we believe it will get us. Because he's going to know what's hidden in the catacombs. So Jesus, if I have safety perfectly the way that I want, what do I believe that's going to get me? And here Jesus tells us we believe under there.
Just a thought, you will never hear my voice.
And
I will never
okay,
hear the voice for Jesus.
so we never hear his
So I guess
voice. Let's just pretend like the ego's getting its way. We never hear his voice, therefore we can get safety. And when we have safety exactly like we want it, what do we believe? Jesus can tell us what we think we're getting from that. So we can see it. We can see clearly what the ego's trying to get. It's trying to get safety. And what else does it think it can get by not listening to Jesus? So try not to say what you think the answer is. Say what Jesus says. We believe.
Just what I had thoughts that came.
It's not a test. It's just to listen to see how that seeking mechanism thinks there's peace in that. See, we believe that if we do not listen to Jesus, we're going to get peace. That's the way ego works. It believes that you can ask him, Jesus, so do I have a belief that if I don't listen to you, I'll get peace?
The thought that came was, you sure have.
Say that again. What was the thought?
You sure have. You sure have. I believe, that belief.
Yes. It's helpful. This is a power belief to see, for him to reveal to us. Because this shows how the ego thought systems is flipped. So, because if we get a miracle on that belief, that desire for an experience of trying to get safety through the ego thought system by avoiding speaking to Jesus, and that collapses, where we can see that there's no way we can ever have peace without Jesus. when that falls away, it's the reversal of the refusal to hear. The only reason why we don't listen to Jesus is because consciousness makes it seem like heaven can be found by not speaking to him. But if we see it, we see that we're trying to get heaven by not speaking, and that it's actually hell. Jesus, will you show me that it's actually hell not to speak with you?
Thoughts, I will just trust me. But they're thoughts, but they feel right.
You'll just trust him, you said?
No, the thought that came was, you will just trust.
You will just trust. That's beautiful.
But it's not, I want the voice.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's where the frustration comes in. But I'm on it.
Well, and it's just the willingness and the practice through chapter 20. He's got to help us at first clear the blocks to hearing. Because we're so, consciousness is a play not to hear that voice. So if we keep working with him and keep coming to the light circles and joining, you will find that you'll hear him quite distinctly, because everyone who's here can hear him. But there's just like, at first, if you've ever listened to air traffic control, there's just a lot of static on the line. We're used to the static, and we pay more attention to the static than to the one Jesus channel. So it's like the wanting, like Frank, you're expressing, that is the gateway, the really wanting to hear the voice.
I'm just sitting here feeling like a failure.
That is great to see. Because you actually, I don't know if you noticed, Frank, but right when you started out, you were saying things Jesus was telling you that you heard.
Once again?
Right when we started out, you were saying things that you heard from Jesus. To speak up, to talk, that's not coming from the ego. The ego would have gone in the other room and hid under a bed or something. So that's the first thing where we're saying no to the ego and we're saying yes to really listening. But that's a really good thing. Thank you for bringing up the thought about failure. So let's ask Jesus, because that's part of the play of consciousness, that we will fail to hear, that we can fail at this. So let's just ask Jesus so we're clear. Jesus, is it possible to fail in our effort to hear your voice?
No.
Which voice said that?
Yeah, suppose. Yeah.
That was glorious, Frank. That was for all of us.
Thank you. Yeah.
So just ask Jesus for us. What else is helpful for us to see about the beliefs that we can't hear them clearly?
Thoughts. You just have to listen.
Oh, he says you just have to listen.
But I want, but I guess it will come hopefully soon. Should I do that or what? I want that. Because sometimes I'm still more subtle, but more and more, I guess, the thought comes more and more feel like they are from the source. Like,
Yes, so let's just ask them now. Jesus, the call of our heart is to hear you even more. We love you. We know you love us. So what do we need to see here that would make that clarity even more clear, hearing your voice?
stop listening and following the ego. Because it's quite easy to tell when the ego is around, actually.
Yes, that's so
Every time you're not at peace, it's well. But I feel I felt it before. It's a deep, 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 deep sense of unworthiness, very deep down, hidden. But sometimes it comes up into awareness.
Okay, so can we let's look at that, because that's for all of us, because it doesn't belong to anyone. It's an appearance in consciousness that we can look at together with Jesus. And let's just ask him, Jesus, can you help us release this desire for an experience of unworthiness? Jesus, do I have a desire for an experience of unworthiness to hear your voice below my level of awareness?
Yes, it's there, but it will fade.
Oh, that's beautiful. So can we ask for a miracle on that, Jesus?
It's given. And says she felt lighter, and I feel, lighter as well.
You feel
So,
light?
Yeah, lighter as no, so no lighter.
Yes, that's beautiful. That's
Yeah.
when the miracle comes. It just gets more clear and more light.
Can feel a smile on my face.
Oh, that's a God cuddle.
Yeah.
So does Jesus have anything else to say about listening and hearing? Because a lot of times after things clear, we can hear him even better. See, so you can ask him.
Yeah, you are worthy, my beloved.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Oh, this is great. Thank you.
My gosh, Frank. Thank you, boy.
Thank you.
We all needed to hear that word come from you. That is a gift for all of us. That's Jesus speaking to all of us.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad I raised my hand.
I'm so glad you did too. We're singing the Hallelujah chorus over here. And that is such a good example. I mean, Frank, I don't know, man. That was just so off the rails example how you have to say no to the ego and yes to God. Because the words are great to hear Jesus say in your heart that you're worthy, beloved. This is what the ego would block. And this is what the world needs to hear. That you could hear it, that carried the power of God when he said that. That's what we all carry in our heart to be expressed. It's beautiful, Frank. Thank you.
Thank you.
Raise your hand anytime. It's beautiful. so beautiful how Jesus will help us every little step of the way with that willingness to say no to the ego. Beautiful. Is anyone hearing anything from Jesus or knowing that there's a part of them that would like to speak and the other part wants to run down the street? We've all been there. We've all felt it. If it's helpful, we'd love to hear from you. And by the way, don't think that if you speak another language or how you speak, it's not about what words you say or the accent. It's really about the power of God moving. It's where you come from. It's not your language skills. Okay, Frank, here's more. All righty. Okay.
No, it's just I write songs in English and I sing in English, but when I speak, I sometimes I'm always feel a bit ashamed about it because I understand English well and I hear myself. So that's yeah.
So you can sing it to us. We're happy to hear that. You can sing what Jesus is saying. That's allowed. That's totally open game.
No, but that's a bit of the unworthiness, I suppose. Feels like easier now, actually, after the expression. Because
just-
often
Yes.
I don't find the I know the words, but I don't find them when I speak because I'm not that fluent. But I guess now it feels a bit more flow in it after that. Yeah. So I just want to share that.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And he does say, you know, he's going to start with what's simple for us. So you can sing it, Frank, anytime. You can just sing what you're hearing. It's really about releasing what we're hearing and getting past that idea, right? That somehow it can come out wrong or something. You're holy God. You're God himself. Like, we're here to hear what you have to say. Because it
was hard it was hard in the beginning when I started talking that I heard myself oh boy, you can't even speak. The thoughts came, but no, now I don't mind, so I just talk.
That's so good. We're glad, Frank.
Yeah, okay, I'll let someone else talk now.
Oh, it's all good. Come back. This is fantastic. So you can come back and you hear more from Jesus. That's what we're here for. Okay. Anyone else getting some God downloads that they want to let loose here? Or doubt thoughts about God downloads? Okay, here we come. Lori. Practicing those God thoughts. Okay.
Yeah, that rang true about, I feel like I sing easier than I speak. And I feel like there's some sort of, I've stifled the voice. I think it has something to do with others being displeased, having had an experience of giving myself an experience of someone other being displeased. So I feel like I can't say, you know, I can't go that fast, or I need help, or can we wait? Because I feel like I'm rushed. I rush myself and I stifle myself. And I might not speak out when I don't feel comfortable with something, because I'm like feeling the reflection back is going to be of displeasure and like a slam. So I don't speak and I just go along with things. And then it seems like it reaches a blow up where I'm just like, I'm going along with this. And then it's like, no, I can't go that fast, or I need help, really what comes to mind for me. Or, you know, I need help. I feel like I'm being left behind. I feel like everyone's going too fast for me.
So can we just ask, like Jesus, we'll start with the light and then have Jesus tell us, is there something below this that we can really look at from the desired experience perspective? And what does Jesus say, Lori? Because you can hear him really clearly. What does he say that's underneath all of this?
I hear speak out anyway. And don't worry about what reflection you get back.
Mm, mm, mm.
And
That's excellent. Yeah.
yeah, it's like a fear of losing, a fear of, yeah, I heard speak out anyway. And ask me for help. Because I feel like there's a pride around that, like of asking an other for help or asking, Jesus, I don't know. I don't know. And I do feel like there's some sort of rage under this that I really don't want to have to ask anybody for help. I just want to know it all without help. And do it on my own. That's what.
Jesus, do I have a desire? So the reason I'm not listening to you is because I want autonomy. It's beautiful, Lori, because that's really what's underlying all of this is that desire for autonomy. And like you're saying, not asking for help. So it's beautiful that we're asking for help. So Jesus, will you show us what's all under this, where to ask for a miracle in this? Can I say what I'm hearing? Oh, okay. I'll say what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that this is a doubt thought that what you have to say and express as a divine being, it's a doubt thought that it has value. It carries God. Jesus, do I desire a doubt thought that what I have to say and express when I express your words, that the doubt that has true value in this world?
Has Kay frozen? Yeah, they said they'll be right back. It's just the internet.
Okay, that was a little cliffhanger with Lori. This is a really good topic too. So we're back. Okay. So
Did you hit record?
yeah, let me do the record. We got bounced out of record. Okay.
Where were we?
Yeah, where were we? Well, we were just asking Jesus, as we always do, and he's saying it's the belief that what we speak in God does not have value in this world. Our value is in speaking God, 100%. Jesus, do I have a desire for an experience where I feel like speaking your voice is not valuable, that there's punishment for it? If he says yes, then celebrate that, because now you have a place to work with him to release that desire. Because all of our value lies in speaking the Father's voice. So what comes to you on that, Lori?
Yeah, something about that. Like if I feel something isn't right, or it's important to have a communication that, like, that it's important to say, hey, let's wait, let's join here, let's stop everything and join in light, because there seems to be some sideways going on. And I feel like that's so important to take that time. And I saw it today several times that I didn't feel worthy to say, hey, there's something seems a little off. Can we like join and just get clarity and communicate on this? I mean, so he's saying that that is so important, to make that time and to not pretend that everything is, well, everything is fine in reality, but that there's not, that it's that to take the time and join, and that you're worth it. You're worth, and that your brother is worth it. Like something doesn't seem right. Let's just wait and remember light. So then the other voice says you're not worthy, and that you're just trying to cause problems. You're trying to be difficult. You're not going with whatever.
So is Jesus telling you to pause?
Yeah.
So that's the voice to follow. If Jesus says it. See, that's what we do and speak here. We speak what Jesus tells us. We do what Jesus tells us. That's divine function. And yeah, anything else coming, Lori?
There's freedom for everyone in this.
That's good. Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you. This is beautiful because it's such a reminder that we can never be happy. No way, without speaking that voice, because that's our voice. It's a voice for God, letting it like come through because it carries all his power. So he's taking the voice, the serpent tongue, the serpent speaking about truth, and I'm going to die tomorrow, and I'm going to get run over by a truck, and then the coronavirus is going to come. And we're teachers of God. And so teachers of God is to teach and learn through what's given through his voice through us. So we know we carry the authority of the Father. That's how we learn. We carry the authority of the Father through us, regardless, as someone said, so thank you, thank you. What a reminder that you say, and then you don't have one concern about what anyone thinks. I got a picture right now of Jesus right in front of Pontius Pilate. He was carrying the authority of the Father. It is as you say, he's no defense. The Father speaks through us and there's no defense in it. It's just the divine light pouring through us as divine being, as the one. And everyone's heard me talk about that Margie Palm, but oh yes. Okay, here we go back to Anne. I'll just mention Margie, if you can find her, I'll put the link in the group because you're going to see how she knew. She knew she's the one that was abducted, right? And the things Jesus told her to do, the Holy Spirit told her to do, and she carried it through. And she'll talk about it. You can hear her talking about how when God speaks the word through you, you're carrying full authority. And we need to carry a full authority because we've been carrying weakness. That's powerful to feel. Oh, I can't seem to unmute you, Anne.
Okay, I think I've had to unmute myself.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I would sooner run out of the room down the road than speak what I heard when Laurie was talking. Seriously, it's like, no, you don't want to say that, because I just do play small so much. But what I did hear was there's a fantastic movie which I've watched about that very thing, about doing it on your own, which is Brittany Runs a Marathon.
What's it called?
Brittany, Brittany, the name Brittany, runs a marathon, and I found it on Amazon Prime. It was recommended, and it's just about, that whole thing of doing it on your own, not asking for help. So anyway, I never, ever, ever tell anybody what to watch or anything, but it just came through and it was like, okay, I'm going to practice here. And Laurie said it, you don't have to be concerned about what others will think. And that's it, that concern. Thank you.
You hear Laurie over there? She's like, the hands are up. We're carrying the power of God here. Wow. That's divine expression. No wonder ego tries to squash that. So thank you, Anne. That is such a deep play. What will others think? But thankfully, Jesus is telling us there are no others. That's a play in consciousness that there are others. There's only the one celebrating itself in holy communion with itself. And then there's an idea, the death wish, which seems to be an other to be concerned about. We're light and we carry the authority of God by the nature of our identity. He is not messing around. That was beautiful. Thank you, Anne. Anyone else feeling? Oh, good, Julia. Okay, here we go. Going deep.
Yeah.
Hi, beloved.
Hello. Yeah, I just want to share about this being that there is another, because I can see this very deep concern about what other people would think. And then I also see myself seeing that here at the screen that I'm having all these different relationship with all of you, even some of you that I don't even know, but or something going on in each. Hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Okay.
can. We're having a little bit of breakup. So we're going to try to switch over to hardwire on another router, but just keep going.
Yes, these men, it's such a, it's such a decision that the sound is not clear, is it? No. I will just take my phone.
Okay, you're muted.
Yeah.
So I just want to say if two things for this, if you have any kind of,
Okay, you're muted.
yeah. So if you have any background noise, like a fan or a heater on your end, I'm going to mute Julia for a moment here because it's really breaking up. I'm going to just mute you for a minute, Julia. If you have a fan or a heater or some kind of electrical device, it will interfere with the sound. So if you have a headset that you can use, that can be helpful, and just sit close to your router. Okay, it might not be on our end. We're just gonna wait. Okay, so I'm gonna unmute you now, Julia, so you can try to speak again. Oop. Okay.
I think the bad connection maybe be at my end.
Okay, you're coming through clear now.
It's still
Clearer.
not clear, is it? Okay,
It's a
very
it's a
clear
little
now.
better.
Yeah, I'm getting doubtful if I should speak.
Yeah, Julia, it's just not going to work, I don't think. The only thing we can try here is, again, sitting close to the router, or the other thing, if you know how to hardwire in, where you do a Ethernet connection, that can help. And then headset. If you have a headset, we can try it on a headset. You know, like,
Okay, I will speak last thing. I will just say I'm very grateful for being here. Very much for me, and so far it was a very healing journey just to be here and to hear all of you and what was going on inside of. Thank you.
thank you, Julia. It's really beautiful. And we hope we can get the sound working on your end, because it's beautiful when you speak Jesus with us. Yes. Okay, you want to, who is you or Dyra? Dyra, you wish to speak? Okay, excellent. Okay.
Hola a todos.
So you need 1 minute.
Pues yo quería compartirles que desde
She's
el
1
círculo de
second.
Lex.
Uno momento.
Ah, ok.
She's trying to get set up to be able to do it for you.
Ok. ¿Me escuchas, Aira?
Sí.
Ujú, gracias. Pues quería compartirles que hoy, después del círculo de luz que tuvimos en la mañana,
And so I wanted to share that after the light circle we had in the morning,
he tenido una fuerte resistencia a unirme.
there's been a high resistance to joining.
Es como si la voz del ego me volviera loca.
It's like the voice of the ego would drive me nuts.
Aunque sé que es un juego de la conciencia y es mi elección.
Although I know that it's a play in consciousness and it's through my decision.
Pero sí quisiera que me ayudaran con esto de ya no quiero más rehuir la unión.
And I would ask for help to not want to hide and not join.
Así es que me gustaría que nos uniéramos y le preguntáramos a Jesús qué es lo que está pasando, qué es lo más útil de ver aquí.
And so I would love to join together and ask Jesus what will be most helpful and what is it that I have to look here.
Pues lo único que me llega es una gran paz.
The only thing I notice is that I'm overwhelmed with peace.
Pero me gustaría saber si alguien escucha algo.
But I would like to invite you all to share if you're hearing anything.
Yeah, this is a beautiful invitation she's offering to have Jesus speak through you. That's just a beautiful invitation to be open to our brother in that way.
Y esta es una hermosa invitación para todos nosotros, desde nuestra hermana, para poder escuchar la voz de Dios a través de los unos hacia los otros.
Okay.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is to see your brother as yourself.
Lo que estoy escuchando es de ver a tu hermano como si fuese yo mismo.
Mm.
And that joining is it. Join, join, join. Something feels off, doesn't feel right, you don't feel peace. It's okay to ask to join and just stop everything. Stop the world and get off.
Y de recordarnos de ir más allá de estos pensamientos, de abandonar el mundo, de soltar el mundo por un instante y unirnos juntos.
I guess if I'm also hearing that what we can do is look at how it plays in consciousness by asking, what benefit do I believe I'm getting by not joining? What's the benefit I think I'm getting from that?
Lo que estoy escuchando es de también observar, ir más profundo y ver qué beneficio estoy tratando de obtener a través de no unirme.
Rechazar la luz. Rechazar la luz.
Deny the light.
And what benefit does that have if I deny the light? What does that get me? What does that get you if you deny light? What does it get you?
¿Qué beneficio hay si negamos la luz? ¿Qué podemos obtener? ¿Qué ganancia tenemos?
Oí que nada. Escuché que nada.
I heard nothing.
So beyond that, there's something the only way these things can play in consciousness, we need Jesus's help to show us what we think not joining gets us. Because that's why the play continues of not joining. There's a belief that there's a benefit in not joining, and we value that benefit more than we value the benefit of joining. So what benefit? We have to ask Jesus, what benefit do I think I'm getting by not joining?
Entonces tenemos que preguntarle a Jesús en un nivel profundo, ¿qué beneficio estoy tratando de obtener a través de no unirme?
Es como si el ego se sintiera vulnerable.
It's like the ego wants to feel vulnerable.
So in other words, you're saying that the benefit is staying feeling vulnerable?
Entonces estás diciendo que el beneficio que observas es de ser vulnerable.
No te escuché bien al final, Daira.
El beneficio es de ser vulnerable.
Pues sí. Sí.
The benefit is what?
Being vulnerable, I can't say that word in English.
Vulnerable?
Yes.
Yes, there you go.
Vulnerable. Sí.
Vulnerable,
Yes.
sí.
Now listen carefully. This is very helpful.
Escucha esto es muy útil.
Because Jesus says the reason why we keep them is there's a value placed on them.
Y recordemos que Jesús nos dice que la única manera en que la mantenemos es el valor que le pongamos a ese significado.
So we can see, this is for all of us because it's just consciousness, the way consciousness plays to keep weakness. Is the vulnerability the same as keeping weakness?
Y tenemos que observar aquí que hay debajo de eso, de ver dónde queremos mantener la vulnerabilidad y la debilidad, que son lo mismo.
Jesus, do I have a desire below my level of awareness to relish weakness?
Jesús, tengo un deseo debajo de mi nivel consciente de apreciar la debilidad.
Now, several brothers are coming in and saying for them, it's staying in the comfort. See, comfort, the staying in the comfort. And I'll read the expressions that are coming: not being hurt, feeling safe, familiar zone.
Y podemos ver cuántos seres han expresado de no querer salir de esa zona de comodidad, de sentirnos cómodos, de sentirnos complacientes, que no queremos atravesar esa capa.
Do I believe that safe zone is heaven? You can ask Jesus. Do I believe being in the safety is heaven?
Y le preguntamos a Jesús, siento, Jesús, que mantenerme en mi zona de confort, en mi zona de comodidad, que encuentro la seguridad ahí.
Mhm.
You see how that safety is confused? We're confused about that safety being heaven.
Y ves cómo está confundido de que pensamos que nuestra seguridad radica en esa zona.
So that's the confusion in the mind, that staying separate and not joining is safe, and that's the path to heaven. That's why we keep it.
Y eso es la confusión en la mente, que pensamos que la seguridad reside en la separación, que es el camino que nos lleva hacia el cielo.
It's like, Jesus, do I believe that playing weak is heaven?
Y Jesús, pienso que jugar a ser débil me va a dar el cielo.
That heaven can be found in playing weak and safe.
Que el cielo se puede encontrar a través de jugar a la pequeñez y de sentirme segura.
And see how powerful this is, because this is where the flip is. This is directly what he tells us in a course.
Mira lo poderoso,
Go ahead,
mira
Diane.
lo poderoso que esto es, de que él nos enseña esto a través del curso, de ese juego.
That heaven can be found in hell.
El cielo se puede encontrar a través del infierno.
So this is helpful, Lena, for all of us.
Entonces esto es muy útil, Lina. Esto es para todos nosotros.
But until he takes us down and he goes, let me show you where you think heaven is in hell.
Pero hasta que él no nos lleva hacia allá abajo lo profundo y nos dice, déjame enseñarte dónde le has dado el significado que el cielo reside en el infierno.
This is the way in which the ego plays to deny divinity, divine light, by telling us heaven is in hell.
Y así es la manera en que el ego juega de decirnos que podemos negar la luz y encontrar el cielo.
By not joining.
A través de no unirnos.
It's just symbolic for not in that moment, because there's plenty of joining here, but sometimes when we get really close to looking deeply at a piece of personal identity, that's how the ego is going to protect it.
Entonces,
We all see it.
así Y es como juega el ego para mantener esa pequeña identidad personal a través de esa confusión.
So the ego is going to jettison those mighty companions really quick.
Entonces el ego, jettison,
Jettison, yeah, give them the boot.
el ego va a tratar de jugar a la separación a través de los compañeros poderosos para botarlos hacia afuera.
You know what jettison is? It's like, you know how a rocket takes off and it's got different stages and then
Saben-
it just separates like that. That's how it dumps the other rocket. That's what we do.
Y lo que significa el jettison, ¿saben esas naves espaciales que cuando están en órbita empiezas a soltar otras naves espaciales, expulsa hacia afuera otras naves espaciales? Eso es lo que significa, eso es jettison.
We just drop them off the back end.
Y es simplemente tratar de botarlas, expulsarlas hacia afuera. Y eso es lo que tratamos de hacer a través del ego.
But it's all innocence, you know? That's why this is so helpful that Lena came forward with this. That's honesty of God. That's acceptance of divine power to talk about this.
Por eso estamos tan agradecidas de Lina, porque en realidad esto es la aceptación de nuestro poder divino de hablar sobre esto.
So, Lena, is anything coming from Jesus on this? Okay, let's see.
Lina, ¿hay algo que venga a través de Jesús en esto?
Sí, dice que no me olvide que todo es un juego en la conciencia.
And all I'm listening to is that it's all a play in consciousness.
Que no lo tome tan en serio, pero que es importante verlo.
Not to take it so serious, but it is important to just notice.
Porque es la manera de deshacer al ego.
Because this is the way out to completely transcend the ego.
Gracias.
Yeah, thank you, Lena. That's great. She went, see, that's going right to where it's at, you know? That's no compromise, that right there, where she just looks right at it.
Eso es la zona de no compromiso cuando lo miramos directamente.
Yeah, that's no compromise right there. That's what we're doing. We're not compromising. We're saying no to the ego. I'm stepping forward. Talk Jesus. Go for God. Here we come. Okay, Irene.
Hola, everybody. I just was hearing when Lena was sharing what Jesus has been showing me for the last several days. I am never upset for the reason I think. And I never, you know, I like to think I know everything, you know, that's the ego part. And so I had this huge, you know, ego attack or, you know, resistance going on. And now it's even hard for me to kind of talk about it because I kind of forgot what it was all about. But in the moment, it was so real and it was just like consuming me. And I was rageful and angry and I was ready to leave here. I'm like, I'm gone. I told, okay, I'm leaving. She's like, okay. And so she kept saying, you know, you want to look at it. And I did not want to look at it. I didn't even think I could look at it. And so, but we stayed with it. And when I got down, you know, looking, I mean, it's happened more than once that when I get down and when I really ask Jesus, what do you want me to see here? And I just drop into that and just stay with it, that he takes me places. It has nothing to do with what I thought was going on. And then there a couple times too, he showed me that I'll have a thought, you know, I'll have an attack thought about one of my brothers. And then I'll just like, you know, like it's okay. I can handle that one. I'll just, you know, pack it away over here. And I forget that that's there. And then it's almost like it's like when I hold it, it's like glue. And then all these other ones just stick to it. And then I'm pissed off. I don't even know what I'm pissed off about. So this is what the joining has been so wonderful for, because all my mighties, I mean, we hang in there with each other. I'm not the only one that's wanted to check out here, you know, and we hang in there with each other, and the power of all of us joining here and staying in it is just, it's incredible. But the main thing is that no matter what the ego is telling you, I mean, no matter what's throwing at you, you know, Jesus will always take you through it to a place of peace. And more, what he's showing me, you know, that Kay was helping me see the other day when something was going on, you know, like, okay, what does that get you? What does that get you? What does that get you? You're gonna like take everything that's coming up and take it to the ultimate. Like, you know, if I want to attack my brother, what does that get me? And then it gets me that. And then what does that get me? And take it all the way to the end. And I get it all the way to the end. And you know what's at the end every single time? I'm by myself and I'm diving into a coffin and I'm dead because I've killed everybody off to get what I want. And so it's like that's where every single one of them end up, in the same exact place. And I keep going, oh my God, what, you know, why would I want to keep doing that? That's where it always goes. But I guess I have to see it as many times as I have to see it till I just don't go. But it's getting quicker. It's getting quicker to find myself in the coffin. Now I don't even see myself in the coffin. I just skip over and go, all right, death wish, separation. I am light. That's just a play, a desire for that experience. And it's not even true. I mean, I love it when Kay says nobody's out there. And I would go, what do you mean nobody's out there? There's really nobody out there. It's all going on in here, you know? Because in the light, is any of that going on? Is there anybody else out there in the light? Not anybody else. There's only the one. And so I didn't think, you know, that it was possible for these things to be cleared so quickly, so precisely, and for me to not have to have a clue about what's going on, just trust and go. And so I don't know how many times I'm going to have to bang my head against the wall before I just let go of that, but it doesn't matter. You know, I'm here, and I the opportunity to be here and join with everybody so all day long. I mean, we join all day long, and it's not enough. So you guys who are out there at home, you know what I know? When I was sitting there and it wasn't feeling like enough, we're here all day long and joining, and it still sometimes doesn't feel like enough. So we used to, you know, say that all the time, you know, the availability to join is 24/7. And, you know, take advantage of it. I mean, get on there and just say, anybody able to join? Anybody able to join? And I don't see that much on there anymore, but I know when I started, it was on there all the time. And then I got the courage finally to do that too. I'd say, anybody want to join? And there were a lot of times that the joining sessions didn't seem to go anywhere. It didn't seem to make any sense. And I just kept doing it. And I still keep doing it here now. So the power in it is just amazing. And I'm so grateful that this way of seeing and being free has come in so clearly. And it's so simple. It's not easy. It's so simple, but I can't do it alone. And I think that's the main thing. I cannot do this alone. That's exactly what the ego wants. And that's where I always end up in that coffin. So stick to each other here like glue, not the thoughts. Let the thoughts go. So thank you.
That's great. Great picture, that coffin. Thank you, Irene. That's what we need to see every time we think we know something. Just picture that little bones because we just buried ourselves. You know, it's not in the future, that death. It's the walking wounded, you know, the zombies walking the earth. No, we're here to cease to deny divine love. Woohoo with Jesus. Woohoo. So we do. Thank you, Irene. You know, that was coming from Jesus. That was Jesus's. And now a message from our sponsor. Now a message from our sponsor is, we call them Jump a Join. If you're not on the Joining in Light Messenger group, we invite you, just text us. We'll get you on it. All that group is for joining, and the WhatsApp group. It's just a join, and come to these, be invited to these so you can practice hearing and speaking God. That's our function. Because if we don't speak to our brothers, all the Jesuses that come here, if we don't jump in, join and with the Jesuses that are here that are listening and tuning into Jesus. Just wait. It was like me and my mom, like, oh man, I just look at the floor. I didn't want to tell my mom I was hearing from Jesus, you know, but now it's like, it's just, you are Jesus. So then you speak Jesus, but we have to transcend those concepts. We have to, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. We just make the characters so we can deny that we can speak Jesus. We are Jesus. Everyone who comes here can speak to Jesus. So we thank you for coming and speaking Jesus. And I think there's going to be a movie coming up, so stay tuned. There'll be a group movie. Thank you, Jesus. I hear it. And we love all of you. Keep joining. Adios from Mexico. Love you dearly.